Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, just did my reading on Michael Cohen, and now this is going to be on the Trump side of the table. But first, ta-da! Time to pimp some things here. But first, Tuesday at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, I will be doing a live with Linda G on Linda G's channel, Linda G, the Comanche Psychic. Talk about hitting the big time. It's like getting an Oprah's book club or an American bandstand, as it were. Or Top of the Pops for my UK fans out there. Anyways, as a result of the reading I did about Trump's health and a potential event that he may have on May 10th, Linda wanted to do a collab. I imagine we will be digging deeper into that reading and stuff that's going on with the trial. So if you're interested, you love Linda G and you want to see how the two of us interact, go take a look. I've got a link in my live section on my community page, and I think I also put a link up in the community page too. So take a look for that. Two, as I mentioned in a previous video, my twin brother and I have a new channel called Twin Tarot with Gary and David. We had our inaugural video go out on Sunday. It's done really well. We have another video that's coming out on Tuesday, another one coming out on Thursday, a short on Friday, and then a follow-up on Saturday. So there's some regular content coming on that. If you think I'm hilarious and you enjoy my reading, now put my identical twin in there and we start finishing each other's sentences and bouncing off random humor and stuff like that. If that sounds appealing to you, come check it out. It's a party over there. And again, that's Twin Tarot with Gary and David. I'll have a link in the description, and there'll be a little placard on the video that you can cross onto, or search for Twin Tarot with Gary and David, and you should be able to find it. Okay? There's also links in the community page. Is there anything else I wanted to pimp? I think that's it. Okay, pimp hat can go away. The cat may replace the pimp hat, but that's his decision. Cat things. He's actually in the closet right now because I left the closet door open, and closets obviously need to be explored. So, Trump. Michael Cohen went through his first day of direct testimony and pretty much laid out the case and really sealing the idea that all this hush money payment and such was to keep people in the dark about Trump's activities and help him save the election. He knew he would suffer mightily with the female vote and with probably the evangelical vote too, but mostly with women. Okay, so I've done a general reading on Cohen's trial, and that's on my other video. What I want to look at here is I want to cover, why is Trump falling asleep so much? I want to look at that. I want to look at, is Trump's going to call, or defense team, are they going to call any witnesses? Are they going to put up any defense whatsoever? And will Trump testify in his behalf? Yes or no? And if he did, what kind of train wreck would that be? Let's start with, is the Trump defense going to call any witnesses whatsoever? Yeah, no, it's fine. Why is Trump falling asleep? I led off with that one. Let's go ahead and lead off with that one. Some people speculate that, he's trying to meditate, or he's trying to keep his emotions in control, or he was given some relaxants or something like that. I was per the guidance of a viewer, I was watching a podcast with a couple of psychiatrists and such talking about it. And their thing is, he's got dementia. Dementia people fall asleep a lot. That's what they do, it wouldn't be unusual for a demented person to fall asleep in a trial. It's unusual for a defendant to do it because you don't see many dementia people standing trial because they're not mentally competent to stand trial. See the connection there? So let's take a look at how both cats are in the closet. Yeah, keep an eye over here. They might be popping out sooner rather than later, okay? Let's go take a look now. Why is Trump falling asleep so much? Does he have dementia? Is something else going on? No. Yeah, that's right. Entertainment purposes only. Okay, we have the Two of Cups. Relationships, agreements. They actually have plans. To me, they have plans in place. They know he's falling asleep. They have plans in place. They give him pictures to look at. I think one of the pictures was allegedly the crowd size of his Wildwood rally, which, if you've seen the social media pictures, they took a Rod Stewart concert from 1994 in Brazil on the Copacabana beach and called it a Trump rally. And, that's just not what it was. They also have people basically elbowing him, poking him awake, because they're trying to keep their client awake during the trial. It looks really bad. Now, again, you've got the staff of Acropolis. Again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation here. It's like a double medical staff. So there's something medically wrong with this guy, and they're trying to compensate for it without basically saying he's a dementia patient, which is why he also insults Joe Biden and calls him Sleepy Joe, because he's always projecting the things that he's embarrassed about, the things he's guilty, onto others. It makes him feel better when you try and punch down and mock other things. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't sure if Nico was being nice to her or not, so kick them both out of here. Okay, Trump. Cross with the Hanged Man. Doing anything you can to keep this guy awake. Hang him upside down so all the blood goes to his head so he can see that. This is not... Well, I guess this could be a meditative state. Trump does try to tell people that he's just meditating and taking it all in. No, he's not. He isn't. Again, anything that they can do to keep this guy awake, and it's just not working because he's just not thinking like a normal person anymore. His brain is different. Underneath it all is the sun, and it's there for all of us to see as he falls asleep in broad daylight. This is Michael Cohen, for God's sake, testifying. If anything, he could stay awake for Stormy Daniels, but he can't stay awake for Michael Cohen. You think there'd be so much animosity there he'd stay awake. I suspect he will stay awake for cross-examination, because that's when his lawyer's going to go after Michael Cohen, and Trump's going to be there, with his popcorn and his fork and knife, and he's going to be like, yeah, stick the knife in him some more, because that's who he is. That's what he lives for, is trying to take somebody down and fight dirty and be nasty and all that stuff. In the past, we've got the Two of Coins. This, again, his health is declining. This could be his mental health. This could be his intellect. But we have a decline in here, and there's turbulence in the background. Oh, okay, so there's also speculation that he falls asleep because it's a way for him to calm down, but it's also kind of a way for him to shut down. And I think we have a downward trajectory with him. Now, like in the Michael Cohen case, the high priestess, when he falls asleep like that, it probably is a strategy on his part. First off, he's bored. Second off, he doesn't want to hear what's being said. And third, if you fall asleep, the trial goes faster, right? And then you never hear anything you don't want to hear. The high priestess is about telling you things that you need to hear, but you have to ask the question. If he's asleep, he never hears the question. So honestly, when Michael Cohen was testifying, he didn't care what Michael Cohen had to say. He was awake for some of it, and he was grumpy about it. But for the most part, he didn't want to hear what Michael Cohen had to say. Michael Cohen's dead to him. But believe me, when Cross happens, Trump will be wide awake. There'll be no reports of him sleeping while cross-examination is going. If there's sidebars, he might fall asleep, but not while the cross is going. He'll be too awake for that. Overarching energy is the Three of Pentacles. They're keeping his health issues secret. If there are drugs that he would normally take to keep himself up, he's not getting those ups. He's not getting his Diet Cokes either. I mean, caffeine affects some people. It doesn't really affect me. And if he's drinking like a dozen Diet Cokes, I assure you caffeine doesn't affect him. Because that's a whole lot of caffeine you're ingesting. And no, he's just used to running around doing whatever he wants. Now he's being forced to stay still. And the only time he falls asleep is when he's being forced to stay still. You know what I mean? He's like a little kid in that regard. Ooh, hello. Lesson to be learned. Okay, again, pentacles are about health. But this is also about DNA and lineage. And there is, like Alzheimer's or something like that, dementia that runs in his family. This is genetic. This is a genetic thing that's happening with Trump. It doesn't, like, if he went to the doctor, there could be meds to help him. It wouldn't cure it, but it might slow down things. And I learned that again from that psych program I was watching. But this is just his DNA at work. This decline has been happening. And there's no stopping it. And it's going to keep going until his last days. Yeah. We got a pair of endings here. Yeah, I mean, basically, this dementia is going to be his undoing, but probably while he's asleep, he's in La La Land and everything's wonderful again. You know, he's maybe in a wonderful area, but I can't imagine that because Trump has got a real dark personality. He doesn't look at it as, instead of happiness, it's unhappiness. Trump has a real dark personality. He's not a happy person. He doesn't celebrate happy things. He celebrates bad things. He celebrates other people's suffering. He celebrates other people's misery because he doesn't know how to be happy. So what he tries to do is make other people more miserable than himself. And then if somebody's more miserable than himself, then he's elevated because people are more miserable than you. It's kind of like the whole MAGA thing is all about people's misery and their anger and their revenge and their hatred is for people that they perceive to not be suffering or who are to blame for their suffering. And they want to make those people suffer more than they've suffered. That's why there's so much hatred in that movement. Okay? Okay, so Trump, it looks like basically no matter what they do, they're not going to be successful because this is just who he is now. Okay? So that's the health part. Now, is Trump's defense team, are they going to put on any witnesses? Are they going to provide any evidence to support Donald Trump's complete and utter innocence in all this? This is clearly total exoneration. Well, they have a total exoneration defense. My deck is upside down. Page of Pentacles. They might try to offer something. If they offer something, it's very little. Here. What's that cross with? Temperance. Okay. Are they going to offer a defense? No. Why not? Because they're not here to offer a defense. What they are here to do is delay things. Say this case is poison. This case is toxic. This case is, this case has been tainted. We need to toss out this case. This case needs to go bye-bye. It needs to go bye-bye till after the election. How dare you prosecute the head Republican candidate before an election? So yeah, they're trying to delay. They're trying to get a mistrial. This is kind of like the card for a mistrial here, and this is showing that they want this case tossed out. This is not even winning on appeal. This is just trying to get a mistrial. I know I've read before. I said it looks like they might win on appeal. I'm not so sure about that. You have to put up a defense if you're going to win on appeal, unless your appeal is I have really crappy lawyers, and that caused me to lose the case. But then again, there's so much evidence that that's not going to be the problem. In the past, we have the Sun card. Everything's being revealed in this case. Truth is being revealed. The truth is not the friend of Donald Trump. It never has been, never will be. The truth has been revealed. So now, as the truth is being revealed, and as us going to put on defense, I'm not seeing anything that shows they're going to put on defense. Maybe you get some crackpot expert that could explain what Trump derangement syndrome is and how, Stormy Daniels was that never happened. She was just extorting money, but they falsified a bunch of business records. That it doesn't explain the falsified business records. So the only other thing you do is break the connection to campaign to the presidential campaign, and I think that ship has sailed. That argument's not going to hold water. It's not. It's going to be crazy on that one and unbelievable. And you don't even have to have reasonable doubt. It just has to be plausible. They're not going to be able to do that. So now what they have to do is they have to start doing weird stuff. Weird stuff to get this case delayed. Basically mistrialed. Somebody may do something really, really dumb. The fool card over it. Again, young people here. There is probably, it wouldn't surprise me if Trump's lawyers have discussed how can they get a mistrial without going over the cliff themselves. They're almost at a point where they need to make a free will choice if they are going to risk their career and walk off the edge of the cliff in order to get a mistrial for Trump. And unfortunately, if this guy were to look down at the end of the cliff, you're going to see Alina Habba, you're going to see Joe Tacopina, and you're going to see a bunch of other Rudy Giuliani and a bunch of other lawyers at the bottom of that cliff who did the same thing that Trump asked them to do and ended up at the bottom of the cliff in a pile of corpses. But they're thinking about it. It's a strategy. The lesson to be learned is the world card. It might delay the case, but it will bring, this is a career-ending move. This is the first major arcana. This is the last one. This will be the first thing you do that's unethical, and it will be the last thing that you do that's unethical, because there will be no other chances in between. And the distance between doing something dumb to get a mistrial and you never able to practice law again, it would be so quick it'll make your head spin. Now, I don't know what that is in legal timelines, but if a lawyer had an idea of how long it would take, 6 months, a year, 18 months, 2 years, it would be the short end of that timeline, whatever that timeline would be. They know if they did that, it would be career over for them. So instead, they just have to fight and argue the witnesses, try and get other people riled up. Try and get the people outside riled up. Try to get the witnesses riled up. Yell at the press outside and get people riled up. So I think the lawyers are smart enough not to do something stupid in court. But that's why I guess they have the J.D. Vances and the Tommy Tubervilles out there trying to rile the crowd up. But the crowd aren't going to be riled up. They're in prison from the January 6th insurrection. They're not going to show up and get imprisoned for Donald Trump at the New York criminal trial. Okay, so will his lawyers try for a mistrial? They're trying, but they're not going to sacrifice their careers in order to obtain it. Donald Trump, I'm sure, is quite upset by such things. Okay. For Carter, will Donald Trump testify in his own defense? It doesn't look like they're going to put up much of a defense. It looks like what they're going to do is just, attack Michael Cohen. Oh, I need to do that too. Okay, so, before we get to Trump's defense, how will Trump react to the cross-examination of Michael Cohen. You know, again, if he's going to have some type of brain aneurysm or a stroke or a heart attack or something like that, and if it was going to happen by Friday, there has to be a lot of passion going between him and Michael Cohen, and Trump just getting livid. You know, the veins in his neck bursting type of livid. Let's see. How will Donald Trump handle the Michael Cohen testimony? Ace of Cups. Okay, well, say goodbye to your blood pressure. I don't think this means that Donald Trump's going to be emotionally mature and in control, because that would be a novel first. And then there's the health. And then there's the rest card. Again, when I did that reading about a health event on the 10th, like Friday the 10th, I was having a real hard time believing it myself. And honestly, to me, it's like, 10% chance it happens. If you were to ask me to give it a thing, 10% chance it happens. But to me, it's also like that's kind of like the beginning stage of it. Could it be something he does to get a mistrial? Sure, why not? But these cards are looking similar. You got health things. You've got retreating and relaxing. Mental downtime. If it's not this Friday, it's the testimony that's happening with Michael Cohen is really triggering whatever it is that ails Donald Trump. I'll leave it at that. Again, if it doesn't happen on Friday, and I'm not trying to back off what I said on the other reading, because I read the cards as I read them. My logical mind wants to assign probabilities. I really do believe he will have an event before the solstice or by the solstice, and it can happen as soon as that. But this trial is really triggering it. Now you got your eclipse, you got your solar flares, you got all this stuff going on to feed the fire. But this really is his dementia plus any underlying health issues like heart attacks or strokes, high blood pressure, that type of thing. He needs to chill out. If he doesn't put himself in a timeout, not God, nature, spirit will put him in a timeout. That's a long way to get to that little statement there. In the past Two of Wands, he's looking forward to this. Oh, he's been plotting and planning. He's again, wands are fire energy, and he's got a animosity. He gave Michael Trump the world, and Michael Trump is just ungrateful, disloyal, horrible person, a tremendous failure and loser, and oh God, Trump really wants him taken down. I was going to do a 4-carder. I ended up doing a 7-carder. Okay. Current situation, there could be a reduction in Trump to something a little bit more childlike. Again, it's like having such a tantrum that something happens and then he passes out type of thing. That maybe his mental capacity is reduced like that. Trump could just say, okay, I was about to laugh and say something like, "Oh, remember when Michael and I got along?" No, that's not it. I was so naive to ever trust him. Is much more a Trumpian type message here. Oh, good Lord, tower over it. Now, Trump, again, he's waiting for the cross-examination. He wants a Michael Cohen to be treated like a child. Take him down no matter what it is. If you have to hit this little girl over the head with that vase, do it. I don't care. I don't care what you do so long as he crashed. This could be Trump and Michael Cohen falling out of the tower. So long as Michael Cohen hits the ground first, Trump's okay with it. Lesson to be learned is that 7 of Swords. Swords are about intellect. And I have had Swords cards used come in the past involving like COVID or illnesses and stuff like that. No, these cards are about health, but this is like his intellect going away. He's going to revel so much. Passions are so high. He's going to revel so much in the destruction that it just triggers whatever it is that ails him, it's going to bring him down. It's to the point where he's just like that. Yeah, he needs to keep control of his emotions, and that's just not possible. So, they'll say it's exhaustion. They'll say he's overworked. He's under a lot of stress. He's all sorts of things. But his emotions are... If he can't control his emotions by himself, somebody's going to control his emotions for him. If the little girl can't control his emotions, then Big Spirit's going to come down and help. If it manifests on Friday, I will be really impressed. I'll put it that way. I'll be really impressed. I think what it is like, oh God, Friday's so close. That's really putting yourself out there on such a definitive date. And there's no guarantee anything's going to happen on that Friday. And it could be just, it starts the ball's rolling on Friday. But man, if he doesn't collapse on Friday, he's definitely started the process. The dominoes are falling. And that might be a free will thing, How much does he lose his mind, his out of control emotions? But yeah, I'm still seeing Friday. I'm still seeing that Michael Cohen's testimony is literally the match to the powder keg. And he's going to blow his top, and he might blow blow a blood vessel to his top, or have a heart attack or something. It's just he might have heart palpitations and has to go to the hospital. Who knows? But yeah, he's got some problems here. He's really playing with fire. How about that? We'll leave it at that. He's really playing with fire. Will Trump testify in his own defense? That's a no. He's crazy. You can't put him up there. That would be the definition of lunacy, would be put him up there. He's delusional. You can't do that. He wants to go up. He always tells everybody he's going up. But here's the problem. The truth is out there. And if Donald Trump goes up there, and maybe this could, in a very kind way, he cannot tell reality from fantasy. So everything to him is truth. Even if it's objectively false. To him, it's true. But that's not going to play with a jury. We have disappointment in the chariot. Yeah, he's going to say he wants to go on up there. He'll tell the truth and everything along those lines because he's Trump. But he knows he can't go up there. He can't control himself. And if he goes up there, they're going to catch him in so many lies. He may not be able to say his name without perjuring himself. The trial's just got to go on without him. There's no way. There is no way they let that guy up there. Which, of course, leads to now our little fantasy question here. What would happen if he did go up there? Because, that's a fun one. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. But if he did, oh, man. I wonder if the prosecution would even cross. Just trying to watch Trump blunder through direct would be an amazing gift from the universe. And then, just try and hit him with a couple of facts. Oh, dear God. They wouldn't let Cohen cross-examine him. Can you imagine? I call lawyer Stormy Daniels for cross-examination. I call lawyer Michael Cohen to cross-examine. What would happen if Trump actually took the stand and testified in his defense? He just wouldn't. Emotionally going away, walking away. That just the reality isn't there for him. He's just off in la la land. I might have done a 7-card. I think I'm going to do a 4-carder on this one. The Emperor. The judge wouldn't let him. I think the judge would say, "You can't do this." Maybe that's why they'll do it. The Devil card. Good Lord. The Death card. There's some major arcana. It would almost be. There's your mistrial. It would almost be like a incompetent lawyering case to let him up there. He can't be trusted. He just couldn't do it. Almost to the point where the judge would have to object to him being called a witness. That it would be like that bad. It would be the total end of the case. I mean, the case is over anyways, but there'd be no appeals. There'd be no nothing. It would just it just can't happen. It can't happen. I'm there for it if it does. It just can't happen. Oh, those are terrible cards. He might die. You know, you got the death card, the devil, and the emperor. Like, you know, here's God, here's the death, and there's the devil center underneath it with him walking away. Honestly, if they put him on the stand, he may not physically survive. It might be that bad. So Friday he volunteers to take the stand. Oh God, that would be amazing. It's not going to happen. Don't get your hopes up. It's not going to happen. Maybe I should say that again. It's not going to happen. Oh, I guess one last one. By Friday, just because I wanted to follow up on this one. By Friday, will Donald Trump have tried to do something so outrageous as to cause a potential mistrial? Little four-corner. Okay, so that would be about messaging. So here's your social media posts or talking with the reporters out there. What's Donald talking about? Oh, he just can't he can't help himself. He's got to go out there and say stuff. All this fire energy. Fighting. Fight. More fights. Look at all this fire energy here. Oh. Again, that whole going to sleep thing. I don't think he does anything that's going to get a mistrial, but there's a lot of fire energy, a lot of passion. The Page of Wands and the Knights of Wands. If he attacks the jury again, it may not cause a mistrial. I think this is more kind of like when your parent says, I want you to think about it before you do that again, because you're going to be grounded. This could be, if on Friday, maybe he's just out there fiery as all can get out, and he might end up violating a gag order again. I'm not seeing a mistrial here. I'm not seeing a mistrial. All that fire energy could be, again, a prelude. It's going to be a very passionate Friday for him. There is a lot of energy hitting that guy on Friday. I don't know what's special about this Friday. And Barron's going to graduate from high school, and at that point, Melania's got her child all the way through high school, and he's 18 years old, and there's no child support. Maybe that excites him, that he doesn't have child support anymore. I don't know. We'll find out soon enough, though. And if nothing happens, well, sorry to build your hopes up on that one, but I'm just trying to interpret those cards. Again, check out my brother's tarot channel, Twin Tarot, with Gary and David, and I'll have a link in the description, a little box here that you can click to go see it. Another video coming out tomorrow. Also on Tuesday, I'm doing a live with Linda G at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern time on her channel. I have a link in my community page, and you could also go to my live page, and there's a link to get you to the StreamYard broadcast for that. I hope you all show up for that. It ought to be fun. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, comments, everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel for the first time, welcome to the channel. Glad you found us. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.